I would be going to bed and just sitting there praying to God, like, please, just whatever I do in life, just don't make me a loser.
Before we start anywhere, I just want your reaction to something. How does a server at Outback Steakhouse end up an IFBB pro who's trained Mr. Beast, who also owns a luxury gym that you can't even join without an invite?
God. Simple. Just God. So my parents are from Afghanistan. My dad's from Kabul and my mom's from Ramon. But basically they're from Afghanistan. My dad was in the military, and my dad, when he went overseas, or he went over to Germany, basically at that point, that's when I was born. I was born there, and then from there we came here to Castro Valley. We grew up and we were very poor. Like my parents came from a third world country, right? And we always had enough, but we were on food stamps. We didn't have, Christmas Day. A big reason why, when we do Christmas stuff here, we're always doing tour drives and stuff like that is because I grew up getting those toys when I was younger. So the only toys that we got weren't from my parents, were from somebody donating us toys. So that's a big reason why now I do all these Christmas charity things, because I want to be able to give back to these kids, because I've been in those situations where I didn't have anything. Seeing my bank account always in the red, that was always tough. And so what I would do is I would have just enough money. I would drive my mom's minivan and I would collect the change from her minivan, put the gas in, go and serve tables, make just enough money that I could get it back into my bank account so I wasn't in the red anymore. Man, Outback. So I actually really enjoyed the job. It was serving tables. You're getting random people walking in all the time, and you have to talk to them. You're walking up to a table of 5, 10, 15 people, and you're having conversations with them. So I feel like that was a huge help for where I'm at today, and like what I do as far as being an entrepreneur and owning a gym. I got really good at talking. I stayed there almost 10 years, and I knew that that wasn't something I wanted to do for the rest of my life. But I remember going home and like sitting in bed, and there'd be times where I would like literally cry, because I'm like, oh, I'm a server. Like, people would walk into my restaurant and they're graduating from UCLA and I'm serving tables. That feeling of like, I'm serving tables at 25, 26, 27 years old, and this person's graduated from UCLA and they're going off and they're making hundreds of thousands of dollars, and I felt just like a loser. I would be going to bed and just sitting there praying to God, like, please, just whatever I do in life, just don't make me a loser, right? I always just loved the gym. I remember coming into the gym, I was working out, didn't know what I was doing, and there was a guy in there, his name's Emmanuel Christie, and I saw him, he was doing pull-ups. So I'm watching him do pull-ups, and he's got probably a 45 around his waist, and he's just doing pull-ups with these, and then he's running over and bench pressing 415, right? And I'm just like, oh my God, who is this guy? So I walk up to him, ask him, and that's where like serving came into play, but being able to just walk up to a random person and have a conversation. But I talked to him and he said that he was a SWAT officer. And so from then on, I was doing a couple exercises and he showed me how to do the exercise. And he said, hey, look, if you want to keep working out and you want to learn about, working out, come at 7 in the morning and we'll work out. And so for me, I was like, all right, I'm showing up at 7 o'clock, and I was never early to anything, but I was early to that. And he basically showed me how to work out. And so I got addicted early on. I got on stage and I did it. I flew out to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, right? And so when you do a national show, they have all the best people show up in one place. So I went to nationals and I competed, and I remember the night before the show, I did not sleep not 1 minute, right? I just couldn't sleep. I had so much pressure that I put on myself. I've always done that. I put a bunch of pressure on myself, couldn't sleep. I remember that night Eminem's album came out. So I was just listening to that all night, get up in the morning, and it's like the worst thing you can do is like not eat, or like not sleep, not eat, not drink water like the day before the show. But I was so nervous that, I didn't do any of those things. And luckily, I get out there and I do the show, and I remember there's numbers on the stage, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm standing on number 3 the whole time. So I get out and I'm on the number 3, and only first place gets the pro card, right? So I'm sitting there and I'm looking down, and I remember seeing number 3, and they never moved me. Usually they'll move you if you're doing a show. They'll like pick you and move you from position to position, but I stayed on number 3, and the whole time I'm in my head, I'm like, I need to be standing on number 1. So I knew at that moment we got off stage, I was like, oh my God, I didn't get my pro card. And so I get off, and I remember immediately going to my phone, calling my sister, and literally crying and just being like, I didn't do it, I'm a failure, And then like probably 5 minutes later, I get a text message from my coach, Ariel Cuts. And so he text messages me, congratulations. And I'm like, what do you mean congratulations? He's like, you got your pro card? I said, no, I was standing on number 3 the whole time. He goes, no, there's 6 people out there. You were in the middle. So typically when you do a normal show, it's 1 through 5, and the middle person is basically the first place person. So I went immediately thinking, oh my God, calling my sister crying because I didn't get my pro card, to, oh my God, this is the happiest day of my life. I'm a pro now, right? So it was pretty cool. It was a good feeling.
So most retired pros become coaches. You ended up building a private facility with no memberships, invite only, in San Ramon out of all places. Why?
I did coach and I was doing great. What I didn't want to do is just be at home going through hundreds and hundreds of check-ins. I wanted to be able to get people under one roof, which I have now. And so now when I see my clients, I'm able to actually see them in person, help them out, talk to them, and not just get them physically right, but also mentally right? When you open a gym, I think people don't realize it, but it's not just a box and you just put a bunch of equipment in there and you basically say, okay, go work out. People don't understand, like, you have to have general contractors, architects. There's so many permits that you need to get. I mean, even to this day, like 3 years later, I'm still getting permits. I'm still getting, we did a sprinkler inspection yesterday, right? So we're constantly getting people that are coming in and inspecting the gym and making sure we didn't have enough lights, and they want us to build a second door outside. So I had gone back and forth with the city almost 3 years, and I probably won't be done till I get to my 4th year, as far as, like, you know, having that headache between me and the city. It's been really tough. I mean, there was days where I was just like, man, I don't think this is for me, because it was so hard. Because you never know, if the city really truly wanted to, they could come in and at any point say, you know what, you're shut down. And if you have this great gym, right, and people are coming in here, and I have 30 something trainers, I have 10, 15 people that work my front desk, and they all work for me, I have to know and make sure that I'm able to keep the doors open for them, right? Because if they come in, there was a point where they had told me, they said, hey, we're gonna yellow tag your upstairs. And if they yellow tag your upstairs, basically it means you can't do anything downstairs either, right? So if they yellow tag the upstairs, that means you can't do anything downstairs. So imagine you come into the gym and now you can't use the upstairs, you can't use the downstairs, and now it's gonna, you know, and people are gonna probably be like, oh, what kind of gym is that, when they weren't even able to get all their permits and things like that. But luckily I've gotten to a place, and, you know, God's truly guided me to a place now in my life where I just feel like every hurdle I needed to get over, I've been able to get over, and He's made me so much stronger. And I understand the business so much better now, getting into it, where I thought when you open a gym, it's like, oh, you just put equipment in there, and it's not that at all. To be honest, He's been everything. I don't think I know I wouldn't be where I'm at today, right, without Him. So I feel like seeing myself go from someone who served tables, right, and then I went to being a coach, and I was coaching a lot of people online, to now having my own gym. Actually, there was a trainer too at one point, so I trained for a few years, and then now having my own gym, it's like, you don't get from serving tables to owning a gym without God. You just don't. And He has shown me so much through my journey, like how real He truly is, right? And I can just go on and on of so many things and so many hurdles I've crossed with Him, right? This gym, I know for a fact, is supposed to be here. So I'm constantly trying to elevate the gym. I think the biggest problem with a lot of these gyms is they break down and they don't take care of the gym. I think when I talk to people and ask them why they're leaving a certain gym, it's always, I had a girl come in yesterday and she told me she saw a cockroach at 24 Hour Fitness. She literally shows me the video. And so of course, like, I want to make sure my gym is very, very clean, right? And I want to make sure my staff understands what they're supposed to do. And I want to make sure that my trainers understand what they're supposed to do. And ultimately, the most important thing is the community that we have in this gym. The community is everything, right? Everybody can make money, everybody can eat, but if we don't have the right community and everybody helping each other and pushing each other, we're not going to go very far.
You touched upon training, but you've trained some serious names, Mr. Beast among them. What did those rooms teach you that the stage never could?
So with Mr. Beast, I wasn't around him that much. Like, I got to follow him one day, which was kind of cool to kind of see, you know, how many people he works with. I mean, that guy has thousands, literally thousands of people that work for him, right? And so he is putting food on so many people's plates, and a lot of people don't see that. They just see him in front of the YouTube videos, right? He lives a life that I don't think is for everyone. I know people would love to have his fame, but I know that one day that I hung out with him, I was like, I could never do this. Like, He has so many people tugging and pulling at him. He has so many different things he needs to do. He needs to fly on Sunday to New York to go meet The Rock, to do some rock, paper, scissors thing. And then on Monday, he has to be back and he has to do something else. And it's just like constantly doing something. And it's a life that I don't feel like I could have lived. But someone that like really, truly has changed my life is Andre Ward. But I've been around him and he's been a huge, huge part of like me growing and seeing how he acts with all the fame. You know, I think a lot of people get to a point where they're super successful and then they treat people differently. And he's the type of person that he is beyond successful, but he's still been able to walk in these doors and just say hi to everybody and like not have an ego and treat everybody so amazing, right? And so seeing that, it makes me go, okay, no matter how big or wherever this goes, always treat people a certain way, right? The way he puts God first, he's somebody that I look at and go, okay, this is exactly what I want. And this is how I want my family to be. And this is, if I get to that success, that I want to act the way he acts. You know, he's just a very, very down to earth person. So he's definitely had the biggest impact on my life for sure.
What does the lab look like in 5 years?
I think that I look at myself my first year of the gym and like I see 3 years into it. My first year was very like cliquey. A lot of my friends were working out. It was very much a bodybuilding gym, but I knew from the very beginning, I did not want to have a bodybuilding gym because what that does is it puts you in this bubble, right? It's like you only are training bodybuilders. When I was coaching everybody. I was coaching overweight people. I was coaching Niner cheerleaders. I was coaching every single type of person. I didn't care. I didn't want to just coach a bodybuilder, right? And same thing with the gym. I think that as we get into my third year, we have so much diversity, right? I have the moms in here, the dads in here. I have all types of people in here. It's not a bodybuilding gym. It's for everybody. Anybody that wants to come in, have a great facility that has the best equipment, and basically you have an environment of a bunch of people that are supporting you and pushing you. And it's just, this community is amazing. And so that's what this gym is. And I think that in the next 2 or 3 years, my plans are obviously to open up a second gym, a bigger one that has showers and lockers. And I want to do I have a bunch of different ideas that I want to do. And that will come whenever, you know, God thinks the timing is best. But in the meantime, this particular gym, I just want to keep branding it. I want to keep getting it bigger. I want to get it out to the world. I want people to see it. And I just feel like so many people can eat off the same plate, you know? I think that a lot of people don't mind being at a table by themselves when they're successful, but for me, I want to have a bunch of people at that table with me. You know, working at Outback, the person I was a very selfish person. It was all about me, looking a certain way, having muscles. And like, as I've gotten older, I've realized like, it's not just about me, it's about the people around me, it's helping other people move forward. And I think that God has given me this gym to funnel and help everybody.